confirmed that change. Iramir is on the bench, Brad Fleming is 14, and Umunga is in the centre, John.
Yep, and it looks like to be a full stadium at the Jade in Christchurch, and it's going to be a fantastic match. I can't wait.
Well, it's the last game before the summer, and what a finale. This title's highly coveted and very special to the players.
Yeah, it's you know, it's in your own backyard really, because you're playing for your own town, and unlike the Super 12s where they've brought in 3 or 4 provinces, you know, today is you know, all the mates together.
So Wellington really will be trying to get into this much vaunted Canterbury side early on. Justin Marshall, so experienced. He'll be trying to run the show with his old mate Mertens. Mertens there, second strike of the ball. Again puts it deep. Christian Cullen has a little look, always trying something different. Could be a little knock on there, referee's seen it. But the penalty.
Well, it looks like Christian's gone for the chip over and he's been taken out by the Canterbury player. The referee's missed it or seen it and decided that Christian's done a bit of a Hollywood.
So there'll be early nerves in this final from all 30 players, whether you be a Mertens with 45 caps or not. And it's the side that's going to settle first to get the early advantage.
I think Wellington, just looking at their semi-final performance, they really do. It was well played by Toddy Blackadder, then took him out and made out he didn't know anything about it.
Ruben Thorne takes an aggressive early drive from Canterbury. Much vaunted pack this. So whether they can suffocate the Wellington 8. Good counter drive though from the underdogs.
The more with the ground, the turnover.
Yeah, that's great defence from Wellington there. There's your man Venisi. Or is it? No, that's Solialo. They look so alike, don't they?
But they do work so well together, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, this was the big decisive difference between the Auckland game, the Auckland team, the Wellington side, and the semi. Was the back row? They're young, they're fast, and they just get everywhere so quickly, and they really do make it so tough for the opposition midfield.
Of course, the third member of that side is Jerry Collins. He'll be trying to provide ball for that man, John Olomu, the most instantly recognisable face in world rugby. And if these tight 3, the tight 5 can create some sort of ball, well, there's no better back 3 in the world, really, is apart from the Wellington Lions, those 3, Cullen and, of course, Umunga playing in the centres, and Lomu is so destructive.
Yeah, definitely, and I think it's a great call by Graham Murray and Dave Rennie, the Wellington coaches, to put Tana in the midfield. He made such a big impact in the semi against Auckland.
Now, early fire there from both front rows. Captain Hewitt, not 10, they're going to play advantage here. Jerry Collins, so impressive in the semi-final, man of the match. Well wrapped there, but not 10 metres. This Spice, this number 9, he's a real fiery customer, and he likes to keep the game running the whole time. So he's actually he's a real key to the Wellington match day approach. First real touch for Umunga, such a physical player. Got a dangerous mix of skill as well as speed and size.
Well, this is a kickable penalty, and I know that from the Wellington point of view, if they can get early points on the board, as they did against Auckland, then it would be great for their confidence, and just might silence this Canterbury crowd a little bit.
Well, they proved they can play away from home all right, beating Auckland at Eden Park.
Yeah, they've definitely done it the hard way, and if they can walk away today with a trophy, nobody can say that they haven't earned it.
David Holwell is the man that will take the penalty. Mark Hammett, of course, has a few words, but David Holwell is a highly impressive individual. Just been voted the NPC most valuable player of the year this week. So he'll be trying to crush any thoughts that Todd Blackadder might have lifting the title.
And it's great to see, you know, not such a household name as Holwell. He played very well for Wellington and really helped them get through to the NPC final last year when all the top players were away with the World Cup.
So first chance for points, bang on target. That is just the start that Wellington wanted.
That's a great nerve settler for the Wellington side, and as soon as Howell hit the ball, you knew he had it over. He started walking away, and he'll be looking forward to the rest of the game now, I think.
Well, that takes him even further past the 120 mark. Iramir so disappointed not to make his finale from the starting lineup. He'll be giving his all from the bench, I'm sure, voicing his concerns and thoughts. Chip over from Romango. He's got the complete array of skills.
That's right. He's a fantastic broken field runner. He's got a sidestep, that you kill for, and I think the more I see of Tana Umaga, the more I like him.
How about this Canterbury pack? How about Todd Blackadder? Such an inspirational character.
Well, he's they're well known now, aren't they? So they just can't get away as Todd Blackadder being sort of the nearly man. He's all black captain and all the pressure's on him.
There's pressure certainly on now as the Wellington back through try and cause some trouble for Daryl Gibson. Good turnover ball and a possible chance. We talk about the battle of the back rows, but the Wellington back row have been so impressive, haven't they?
We just saw it there. Gibson actually made a pretty good break. He looked for support, and he had Venetian Solialo all over him like a rash.
There's Daryl Gibson, the centre, trying to work his way out of trouble. But they're hungry, these boys, these Lions, aren't they?
Yeah, they just got to keep the tempo up. They've got to try and rattle Canterbury. Taranaki did for much of the game last week as well.
Halloran tips it through, and there's a chase on now. John Olomu's collected, and John Olomu will score. Just 6 minutes gone, and this will really shake Canterbury.
Well, this is a carbon copy of the semi-final with Jonah going over in the first few moments of the match. Wellington have set out their intention. They're actually putting the ball in behind Canterbury, and Canterbury have obviously been prepared for a big confrontation in midfield with Tana running at them. That's a great little chip through by Halloran, and it's a great bounce.
Beautifully weighted as well.
You see there as Tana was trying to run through, and he was sort of professionally taken out, but it didn't matter. Wellington have probably got the penalty, but a great start for the Wellington boys. If they can get the conversion, that'd be 10 points, and they'd have loved that at the start.
Jonah Olomu, such an impressive figure. Scored after 70 seconds in the semi-final. And I have to say, he wasn't quite so impressive. Went to sleep to a certain extent. It's important for Wellington to keep this man involved.
Well, definitely. At the same time as well, Vinnie Bucket and Lomu, that's a fantastic kick. That's the start they needed, and that's the start they've got. Now it's up, Canterbury now, they've got the stronger side on paper, they've got their dozen or so All Blacks, but it doesn't matter to anything now, does it? This is a good move, great chip through, and here it comes. Bounces lovely for him.
So the experience of Mertens, Marshall, and the rest of this supposedly impressive Canterbury side will need to be right on the button, need to retain their composure, try and rein in this Wellington side.
If there's one thing we do know about Canterbury, and that is that they never do give up, and but they are, if anything, it's Canterbury that's showing indiscipline at the moment, and everyone was saying that it would be Wellington.
And Scott Robertson coming in from the wrong side, and they can't afford to make these sort of mistakes. Not the way Holwell's been kicking at the moment.
Well, it's a send position to his first penalty, and these are never easy, but. That's good chasing again. Collins right in amongst it.
Ben Blair, tipped as a future All Black, took the ball well there. So open side let him down. But the end result is what I have to say is a very kickable penalty for David Holwell. A worried face.
It's a bit of a shell-shock face, isn't it, Will?
Well, from number 10 to number 2, they're going to have to do some smart thinking. This could be 13 points away from the Canterbury side, and that's quite a mountain to climb. Pulls it back, bullseye.
There's 3 superb strikes now by David Holwell, and you can understand now why he's been voted the most valuable player in the NPC this season.
Well, Canterbury know that if they're going to give away penalties in their own half, it could well be 3 points. with that man on such good form. Merton's been doing too much of these restarts for his liking, I'm sure. He's got Robertson trying to make amends. Merton's tipping through. This is looking dangerous. Ben Blair, good footwork. Oh, so close. Does show how dangerous Canterbury are right from the off.
I think it's a mark of both sides, respect to the defence in the back line for both sides, is that, both teams, both halfbacks are looking to chip the ball over the back line, as we see from Mertens here. Blair, he shows a lot of pace there going through, gets his foot to it, but obviously the support's not there quick enough.
Still working each other out. Played earlier in the season in the round-robin stages when Wellington actually won 27-20. Some of the high-profile players not there. But nevertheless, has to be some sort of indication. Merton's looking inside. Kunibaka, first time for a real touch of the ball, and the crowd gets so excited you can hear them as soon as he touches the ball. Lovely line there from Brummel. This is cleaner ball. Marshall has a look, trying to snipe.
That's much better play from Canterbury there. They've put the ball through the hands, 5 or 6 phases, resulting in a penalty. Now, who's going to kick, Blair or Mertens?
Well, Ben Blair's been kicking throughout this NPC, over 120 points. But for a final, has he got the temperament? He's certainly got the talent. The coach, Bobby Dean, said it's up to the two of them to decide. Well, basically, it's up to Mertens, and Mertens has obviously given the young player his charge. What an important time to try and climb back into this Wellington league.
Now, this will tell us a lot about this young man, where he is, as far as his temperament is concerned at this stage of his career. Obviously, he's very young, but this kick doesn't come, any bigger than this one.
Sam Brummel, so impressive in the semi-finals, man of the match. The unsung heroes, really. Glitzy array of stars Canterbury might have, but it's the important number 8s of this world. They're going to work well with the internationals, such as Scott Robertson. Now, Ben Blair, nicknamed Pup, only 21. 124 points, and there you see David Holwell, thanks to today's efforts, up to 130. Blair is a consummate striker of the ball. There we have it, straight through. That will settle his nerves, settle the nerves of the Wellington faithful on and off the park.
That was a great strike and a big pressure kick, and you'd have to say it was a la Mertens, the way that he just lofted the ball and it drew in nicely.
Nice problem for Canterbury to have, to say that, well, if Blair's not really striking it as they would wish, well, we'll give Mertens the kicking tee. He's only got 673 points for the All Blacks. Useful. There he is, hoisting it high. Start there. This is wonderful from Wellington.
It's Solier again.
Oh, hoisting it high. Trying to test Blair. Blair coming up for it. Didn't really go as deep as he would have liked. Brought down very smartly by Jerry Collins. Too smartly and too high.
I wouldn't mind seeing that again, actually. I think Justin took a bit of a dive on that. It looked to be chest height, but no higher. Or possibly a little bit higher.
Yeah, it was a little bit, wasn't it? He slid down the torso fairly quickly, but it was high. Now, we talk about this Wellington back row. Insatiable appetite, haven't they?
Yeah, that's a fantastic run. But again, Wellington have started in the right manner, as they started against Auckland, and they just got to rattle them, because it doesn't matter what anybody says, Canterbury have gone into this game as overwhelming favourites. And it's a real test of the Canterbury boys to try and sort of build themselves up for a match where they are so far in front. Everyone's saying that Wellington can't put 3 big games together, but they've managed to put 2 big games in the first 15 minutes of this one, and but obviously a lot of question marks over the Wellington side, and I certainly hope they can pull it off.
You're supposed to be an impartial commentator, John.
Well, you can vote for Canterbury.
Right, here's Christian Cullen. He can make something from nothing. Composes himself. Time to just play the percentages. Crash it downfield. Beating the first man is Brummel. Ellis has a close eye on the Wellington hands. Working the short side. That's a lovely take from Mertens behind him. NPC trying to slow the ball up. Driving into this Wellington midfield, trying to make a dent, but the defence so far is firm. Ball comes back, really stringing the phases of play well together now. A lot of runners in that inner channel there, John.
It's a lot of patient play from Canterbury. They're quite prepared to put the ball through their hand, recycle the ball. They look like they're going to the midfield and working it back the opposite direction again.
Right over the top.
But I've got to say, the Wellington defence is superb.
Chin, please.
Really are worrying Canterbury. Canterbury, much as they try and remain composed, the likes of Beak, etc., All Blacks that they are, not really doing what they would want to at the moment.
I think the important thing for Canterbury is that they've had all the play for the last 5 minutes or so. They've only got 3 points to show, whereas Wellington, you know, had the best part of the first 8 or 9 minutes, and they put 13 points on the board.
Iramir, how he would like to get onto the pitch. Never been to an NCP final, let alone won it in 9 years or so of rugby.
Of course, when Wellington made it last year, Alama was with the All Blacks in the World Cup, so he'd be itching to get on.
Of course, accepted the Japanese yen, dropped a bombshell with the New Zealand selectors by saying he's leaving at the end of this season. We'll just have to wait and watch and see the likes of O'Halloran, who are doing a pretty good job at the moment. Brad Fleming scored a try in the semi-final. Jinking, twisting his way through. Just into touch was Veneti.
I mean, just comparing the two sides at the moment, is Canterbury that look the more controlled and more methodical in their approach when they're on attack, but Wellington, you know, any loose ball, they're so dangerous.
Quick line out taken, and it's worked. Marshall upfield. Found some space. Well, had to get rid of that one pretty quickly, but it's given a chance for Mertens to counter-attack. Here is Ben Blair. Ben Blair slipped the first tackle. Vinnie Backer just couldn't quite get his hands on that one.
I think Ben Blair probably thought the Vinnie Backer was right in his shoulder and just gave the ball a little bit of air and just popped it up, and unfortunately he was 3 or 4 yards off the pace. It's a good step there. He came inside Tana quite well there, and he's obviously heard the call and he's thrown it somewhere between Mertens and Vinnie Backer, so probably not the best pass in the world.
Andrew Mertens, such a consummate professional and such experience. He won't be rattled by being 10 points down at the moment. Been in too many tight situations to be worried at the moment.
No binding.
Yates finding wrong.
Well, you're asking the wrong person there if you're asked me to give my opinion on front row play.
I think I just took it from the referee. I'm sure Yates would say that the referee's wrong, but the end result, marched back 10 metres.
Just a word about Kevin Yates. I mean, obviously he left England under a cloud a few years ago, but now that he's settling in Wellington, just seen there, 17 NPC games, and he helped them take them through to the final last year. And I think he's enjoying his rugby by the looks of it.
Well, Wellington were supposedly labelled inadequate forwards with brilliant backs, but off the back of the likes of Yates making a certain mess of his opposite number in the semi-final, taking apart Craig Dadd, got to say that they really have given their backs enough ball, and they've been doing the job.
And they're doing the job again today.
Now, Mertens. Strike that one straight through. Lovely hit. So Blair's got one, and now Merton's got one. They're just taking it from opposite sides, do you think?
Well, that's the way it looks. Obviously, Blair kicked the first one really well. This one was probably a little bit further out, and on the other side. It's hard to say, really. Blair may pick up a knock. We don't know at this stage. But obviously, they're two fantastic kickers.
Well, keeping the discipline under control is going to be so important. But both sets of kickers have proved that they are bang on target at the moment. This has, this season, been Wellington's Achilles heel, discipline or lack of it. 19 penalties they gave away in the semi-finals, including 2 sin bins. That's quarter of the match with 14 men, and really they can't afford to do this against Canterbury, can they?
Well, I would say they couldn't afford that against Auckland, but when they had their boys in the sin bin, they scored 2 tries, which was unbelievable. I think they scored something like 13 or 15 points while they had 2 players in the sin bin, but you know, it's madness, really. And I know the Wellington boys, especially under the tutelage of Graham Murray, they really will be thinking about the discipline this week.
Lovely one-handed take there. And Maxwell.
Against back 5.
Now the drive, legs pumping. Ball presented for Marshall.
Yeah, the penalties will start coming Canterbury's way now. Now there's time for the Wellington boys just to listen to the referee and play the referee. And you know, obviously every player's got his own opinion how the game should be played, but there's only one man you've got to listen to when the game's on, and that's the referee.
Lovely take there. I think it was Yaki that was the offender on that occasion. He took 10 minutes in the sin bin in the semi. High tackle. Slightly overthrow. And now a chance, possibly. Big South African around the Murder to take it up. Howell back in the pocket. There's managed to keep it under control. Contemptuously walks past John Olomu. But the ball comes back Wellington's way. Could be a chance out wide. Brad Fleming steps inside. Scott Robertson up to the task.
Well, the referee indicated advantage to Wellington, but he gave no advantage whatsoever, so I can understand that.
Well, there's certainly some turnovers, and that's sometimes the most dangerous time to actually counter-attack, isn't it?
Yeah, it looked like Blair would take it back. He had Salaya. He was right on top of Blair as he went to ground, and I got the impression the referee had actually said to Blair, that Blair was actually holding on to the ball.
Marginal by that shot.
Nice and close, fellas. We're crouching hold. Wait for the call. No lock. Just wait. Just wait. Engage.
Canterbury had managed to turn the ball over 5 times. Still trailing by 7 now. Merton's outside his 22. That's a phenomenal strike.
Great kick.
Cullen doesn't have much width to strike the ball back, and now a chance for a counter-attack. Again, Merton's hoists it high. John Olomu takes that one. And Blair hanging on for Gunda. Winnie Bakker, well marshalled. Umaga. The crowd don't like it. Do you?
It was the right call. It was what happened as Jonah threw the ball back. I think he was hoping that Howell was coming around, or Tainer. He threw it back, and actually Vinnie Barker actually just fumbled the ball backwards, or probably forwards actually, and so I think it was the right result.
Winnie Bakker hasn't had a lot of the ball, but Canterbury have had 72% of the possession, would you believe? So they won't be happy with the scoreboard as they look up at it at the moment.
No, in the same way, if you look through the match stats last week, after 80 minutes, Auckland had actually had 60% of possession. So Wellington actually don't need that much ball, you know, to score points. But when they do get the ball, they're very incisive and very dangerous indeed.
Noki Afiaka at the moment just having a stretch off. He's not going to want to go off. Big tongue. And there we see the territory, and now the possession.
Wait for the call. Well, you were calling no locks, so I wasn't going to call it.
Paul Honnis
No, just wait a while so I can call
trying
it.
to retain an iron grip on this game.
Engage. Up.
As it will flag.
That's good. That's better. Use it.
90 degrees.
Lock on.
And a knock on. So turnover.
Canterbury just getting the ascendancy at set phases at the moment, and now's a crucial stage. I think we're into about the last 10-15 minutes of the first half, and it's important that Wellington can defend their own line for the remainder of this half.
And Canterbury aren't getting it all their own way in the scrum. Mertens again puts that one high. The ball has bounced. It's nasty for Cullen. Umaga trying to get his friend out of trouble, as is Holwell.
They've actually regrouped really well there, Wellington. The ball could still be turned over though, but if they can clear their lines, yeah, they've got away with it.
Jason Spice having to play fly half, took on the responsibility.
I think Mertens is really sort of imposing his personality on this game at the moment. We've seen two fantastic kicks. Well, here it comes now. I mean, that is such a good placement of the kick. I mean, he's put it over the fullback and the winger's head. It's a nasty bounce. The ground looks pretty hard, but Wellington actually done really well to clear their lines from that position.
Giving the dangerous Christian Cullen absolutely no room to even think about any sort of counter-attack. The reverse flip from Hammett to Marcy. Big defence from Wellington at the moment. Mark Mayhoff were involved there after Grenoble at the end of the season. Trying to get ahead of steam up now, Canterbury. Ball's waiting, where's the scrum half? Gibson plays. Sam Brummel crosses his way through his first defender. Wellington just fanning out. Slow ball from Mertens. Back to Caleb Ralph. Umaga tackles, gets on his feet so quickly and tries to rip the ball away. He's such a good player, isn't he?
Playing like a loose board, and that is a superb turnover from Wellington. You've got to be asking yourself the question: is that Canterbury have had so much possession? If they're going to go in at half time with only 2 penalties to show, they must be wondering what the hell can they do to win this game.
It's a reflection of how well Wellington are playing as much as anything else, isn't it?
Definitely, and that edge defence is superb from Wellington. And Umaga, superb. He makes the tackle, puts Ralph on the ground, stays on his feet and rips the ball.
You must follow your own players. That's all I'm asking. All right.
Neil Maxwell being talked to. I'll give the referee a nasty stare, but it makes no difference. He's a good player. 17 caps for the All Blacks. Him and Black out of the All Black pairing and the Canterbury pairing, but not really squeezing the life from Wellington at the moment.
No, I think with Norm, he's he plays like a back row and he's a tremendous line-out jumper. But this Wellington boys with Waller and Afieki, I mean, they're his match today.
And Wellington creating the drive, sucking in the Canterbury back row. Spots, clips it high. Mertens underneath, that's a lovely take from Holwell. Now ripped over.
That's Benisi taking it on.
Beautiful, isn't it?
They've got numbers out wide if they can move it.
This is good, this is Jerry Collins. Cullen unloads to Umaga. Good hands out of the tackle. Hello, who have we got here? You know who we've got here, it's Cullen. Looking for the switch inside, so close, it's there!
That is a superb try.
Afieki has scored, that is class. Cullen so dangerous, just given a little bit of space. Such intelligent footballing skills from that man as well, just to cut the line and over the try line.
A great try. As we were saying just a few moments ago, Wellington haven't seen the ball, but when they've got the ball, they look so dangerous, and really Canterbury haven't got answers to them at the moment. I actually thought that Tana Umaga had actually overrun the ball there, and as a result, a little bit of momentum of the back line was stopped. But this is a great crossfield run by Christian, and here we go. We're just comparing the Afieki to the Canterbury All Blacks second row.
But you can see Cullen coming across, sliding, and the defence are so worried that they go with him, and of course that creates the space.
I think as soon as he has his hands on the ball, the Canterbury cover thought he's going for the corner, so they all sprinted across to the corner. But you've got a second rower on the wing, and he's coming on a beautiful scissors.
Now David Holwell to make it 20 points for Wellington. Yep, you come to expect it now from this man. That is another class strike, converting Abiyaki's score and Cullen's run.
20 points to 6 with about 10% possession. I mean, it's fantastic. They've scored the only 2 tries of the match. And Canterbury wondering now, what do we have to do to get back into this game?
They've got all the ball, but they're not really utilising it and converting it into points.
I think what they're doing, they're playing very patient rugby, and I still believe they really had to stick to that. But they've got to get Vunu back in the game. He's their strike weapon, and but at the moment there's not a lot of room to go because the tight forwards are thrown. The Wellington tight forwards are actually putting the tackles in around the field as well.
The crucial thing is that every time Wellington get a chance, the likes of Cullen, Umunga, they really can make the opposition pay, and that's the crucial thing, isn't it?
And that's it. That's when you look at finals, you're looking for world-class players to make a difference. But you need world-class players actually to play really well, and that's what the Wellington boys are doing at the moment. And there's a bit of a, you could put a bit of a question mark over the 12 Canterbury All Blacks.
Wait for the call.
Well, there's a New Zealand tour to Italy and France not long coming, and the selection of that 26-man squad is soon to be made, so there's a lot to play for, apart from just this NCP title.
He's not biting, he's biting underneath the sternum, not on the bench. Let him go, please.
Referee Paul Honus, he's taken a dislike to Yates in this game. There's twice 2 penalties now for the same offence, and he's already given away 3 points, and this could make it 6 on Kevin Yates.
Give him a shot, guys.
Well, then Canterbury can't afford to squander these penalty opportunities. And it's Ben Blair. Seems to be playing tag with the kicking tee at the moment. His turn to strike the goal.
Well, it must have been. He must have taken a knock just prior to that, the second penalty from Mertens, and so we just see if he's over his knock now.
Well, it promised so much, this match, and the crowd are being rewarded. Ben Blair, he's rewarding Canterbury. 3 points for him. 9-20, Canterbury trail.
They're hanging in there, aren't they? And the thing with Wellington, they've got to keep going, they've got to keep their discipline on defence. Try not to give away too many kickable penalties in their behalf, because obviously Canterbury are really capitalising it, and at this stage of the game it's the only way that Canterbury seem to capitalise.
It's 10 minutes before half-time now, including a bit of injury time. This is an important phase of the game. Mertens. All he's found is John Maloney. Dragged down smartly by Robertson. Ball comes back. Brad Fleming.
Hands off, Red!
He's a dangerous strike runner as well. Spice.
Come on, Ruben!
Gerardo can do everything.
It wasn't very pretty, but it was quite effective. I think Ben Blair just sliced that on the side of his boot. So Wellington got off the hook there. I think Spice was trying to find his half-back partner, Holwell, and the loose ball got in the way and did a pretty average kick on his left foot.
John Lomu, so strong, you can always guarantee the ball will come back if he takes it into contact. Gary Collins takes it nice off the top of the line-out ball, inviting Aaron to take it up the middle. John Lomu strong, waiting for Brad Fleming to try and unload it, but he's lost that in contact.
He has. He's a bit of a lightweight, but he's, as far as weight's concerned, but he's you know, he's a very good stepper, very elusive and very strong, but obviously he wants to be going for gaps rather than actually trying to go into contact.
Super 12 contracts up for grabs as well, of course.
You're talking about All Black selection. I must admit, I think if I know they've got some very good fly halves in New Zealand at the moment, with obviously with Mertens and Tony Brown, but if there's a spot going on, my money would be on Holwell to go on this trip.
Slips through Meyerhoffler's hands off the back of Norm Hewitt's poor line-out throw. So that turnover squandered.
And a very costly midfield knock-on, right in front of the post. And Wellington will look to do a set play involving Jonah or Christian here, or Tana. I mean, they've got to be looking for a strike move here. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if Wellington come away with some points at the end of this move off the scrum. But it's so important that the Wellington 8 can hold the scrum square, so the halfback's got a good service.
You can just get Jonah Lomu one-on-one. You put your money on Wellington. Lovely move here. Here's Christian Cullen. Referee's going to bring him back.
Well, that's really interesting, Paul Honus, the referee. Obviously, they've done the dummy runner. Over in the UK at the moment, anybody's coming through in the dummy and throwing the pass behind is an instant penalty. Last week in the semis, they were doing lots of passes just like this, okay, getting away with it. Walsh, the referee, was letting those go all day. But today, Honus is pulled up on it. There seems to be an obvious lack of consistency between the interpretations of referees at the moment.
Well, Zumanga, that was the dummy runner. How costly will that be come 80 minutes?
Well, I think had they scored it, the game would have been over, so we've still got a game now.
Canterbury are living on a knife edge at the moment. Marshall knows it. Now, what can Wellington do? Holwell doesn't need high-risk rugby. But what he has done is given it to Funibaka. Then Blair organises himself. Oh. Lovely take there. Holwell again. Nice sit one high. Marshall, eyes up as ever. Left foot strike, but only as far as Christian Cullen with his step. Carl Gibson up to the task. See that one coming. Could be men over here, but there are forwards out there.
No, unfortunately the head numbers, they're probably just a bit too flat, and the pass was just a bit laboured, probably a bit too many missed passes there. They had a 3-on-2. I think Kevin Yates was probably one of the overlap though. It's just a shame really, we've got too many tight forwards in there. Norm Hewitt and there's Norm Hewitt knocking the ball. It wasn't the greatest pass, to be fair to Norm.
But Lomu was outside.
He was outside. There just seems to be a lack of urgency to get him the ball at the moment.
So Hewitt needs to get his line-outs right. They were poor in the semi-finals, and that's been generous to him.
Yeah, I think if Canterbury eventually do go through and win this match, it'll probably be as a result of Wellington losing it.
Andrew Mertens will certainly know that. He won't mind too much if he's under pressure and he has to work those touch lines a little bit.
Oh, that's right. I mean, there's 11 points in it and plenty of time to play.
Here is Mertens trying to ignite his back here. But Wellington, drift defence working well, just sliding the Canterbury backs across the field.
See, what I don't understand there is Canterbury done a similar move with a player running in front of the ball carrier and throwing the pass behind, and Honus has picked it up when Wellington did it, and I can't really see the difference between the two moves there.
There's Gibson that goes on the dummy run. Blair gets wrapped up, and it's O'Halloran that has been pinged for that.
Well, that's right. I think a bit of lack of consistency. And the crowd's obviously getting to the referee.
Now, come on, John. Well, Wellington certainly dealing with the crowd at the moment. Crowd trying to create a raw, intimidating atmosphere, but it's not really happening, is it?
Well, obviously, if anybody can go to Eden Park and win up there, by a record score, you know, obviously things like that just spur them on.
I hope that Canterbury fella doesn't blow his horn as Ben Blair steps up. Important kick this, going into half-time. Yeah, straight through. So young, but so composed.
He really impresses me. I mean, he's never looked like missing. And again, a fantastic strike.
Well, they rate him very highly. And he might just be joining the likes of Todd Blackadder on this all-black tour coming up after the summer. What a learning curve it would be for Blair to be working alongside the likes of Maxwell and Blackadder. From Maxwell. Marshall and Mertens maybe kicking out a hand a loss at the moment. Dancing with the devil a bit. If you do kick badly with the likes of Lomu and Cullen behind, though. There's Cullen. And loads well to Jason Spice.
The Wellington boys really haven't run it back all the time at them. They've done their fair share of kicking as well. But it's probably the quality of the counter-attack.
Here is Lomu on Funibaka, just discards and still going is Lomu. Sees Jerry Collins inside. Funibaka just gets back in time, but that was just contemptuous of his opposite number.
Well, I think there was a big clash of the Titans on that side of the field tonight between Funibaka and Jonah. I think it's 1-0 to Jonah at the moment.
That looked forward. Referee says play on. Hands in the way. But Canterbury only 8 points behind. Wellington will want to retain that lead going into the break.
Well, that's right. That's a great handoff by Jonah there, and he's skinned Ruben Thorne. Unselfishly looking for the inside pass, and unfortunately Funibaka has made up for the previous mistake.
Marshall working the narrow side. Blackadder. Funibaka's chance now. Funibaka has been brought back. And that is the half-time whistle. Well, go on, John.
Sorry, if Van der Merwe, if he's actually been the reason why Funibaka's put his foot in touch, that is one hell of a tackle.
So half-time score, Wellington 20, Canterbury 12. Have taken those opportunities that they've been offered. Canterbury, will they just try and squeeze the opposition dry?
I think the first 10-15 minutes of the second half, I keep saying it, it's so important. If Canterbury hadn't made a breakthrough in the first 10-15 minutes, it's going to be, I think Wellington will get confidence from that and hopefully hammer home.
So an early score in this second half, vital for both sides, as Canterbury restart for the second 40 minutes. John Lomu immediately into the action. Jason Spice waits patiently, fires it out to his fly half Holwell. Caleb Ralph feeds Ben Blair. Show of the ball, but Jerry Collins has got that one as...
And they turn it over again. That's a great turnover by Jerry Collins.
It's working well now for Wellington. Umaga taking responsibility. Leans back, just fires this ball towards the corner. Oh, that is inch perfect.
Is there anything he can't do? That's a great kick from Tana. I think with Wellington at the moment as well, looking at the first half, is they were kicking probably just as much as Canterbury out of hand. But the thing is that the Canterbury counter-attack, you know, doesn't seem to be as effective as the Wellington one, and Wellington are quite happy to kick the ball long and keep the ball in play.
So if this line-out ball can be turned in any way for Wellington, try and get a turnover of possession, which they've managed, it could mean points.
Now what do? Do they kick for goal, or do they go for the line-out or go for the scrum?
What would you do?
Goal line, please.
Well, with Holwell, I'd probably take the points and get the points margin up again.
Goal line, guys.
There we have it.
Nominate them, guys. Nominate them.
The offender, Reuben Thorne. Holwell to try and punish him.
Again, you know, if this kick does go over, there's no reason why it shouldn't go over. If this kick does go over, it's just the start that Wellington had in the first few minutes of the start of the match.
Well, there we have it. Wellington are beginning to get an early grip in this second half, and it's so important, and this will create some worried thoughts for the Canterbury side. And they know in their heart of hearts that Holwell could well put this one through the posts. One last look at the uprights, and it hits the upright. First mistake.
That could be a big miss.
Well, Merton's trying to take it quickly, and it has been taken quickly now from Canterbury. Maybe trying to inject some pace into this game. Wow, Jerry Collins. Keep an eye on this young man with 8 on his back. Been so impressive throughout the competition.
I think when you've got the size of the Wellington wingers together with the Umanga and together with the loose forwards hanging out there all day as well, it's there's not a lot of incentive for Canterbury to throw the ball wide.
Ian Waller takes it. Jerry Collins provides the ball for Spice. Now, Van der Merwe takes it up. Good defence from Canterbury though. Chip through. Oh wow. So Umanga was taken out there. Backer under pressure from Lomu. Desperately trying to get the ball back for Marshall. But immediately Wellington are putting pressure on Canterbury. Oh, this is dangerous from Mertens. Got scragged just a metre from his own touchline.
Here it is. Right back, right back.
Marshall says, I've just about had enough of this. Christian Cullen. Oh, totally flopped on that one. Hit a 40-metre drop goal in the semi-finals. Wasn't going to happen there. Disappointment.
Yeah, but it was probably the right option. A lot of confidence from last week, striking, you know, such a beautiful kick. But an indication there that Mertens is prepared to run the ball now. Maybe he's probably thinking we've got to try something different. Spice.
Fleming now with some room up against the Canterbury wall. Ball is good for Wellington. Umanga. Getting over the game line now. That's a Jerry Collins trying to blow a hole in the defence. Cullen hoists it high. Underneath it is Ben Blair. This is a difficult one. Umanga's there. Well, the referee's blown his whistle. John, you're off your seat there. And Cullen again, so close, but he's been denied for a second time.
Well, let's have a close look at this one. Possibly off the fingertips of Tana. Tough angle from there, difficult to tell.
Good decision from the referee, I say.
He was closer to it than we were, so we'll give them the benefit of the doubt, I think, begrudgingly.
But Canterbury, well, they're showing how fallible they are, and Wellington, again, nearly destroyed them. Mertens really trying to mix it up now, and all he's doing is getting himself into trouble and needs Meerhofter to set up decent ball. Mertens playing a different game to the first half. Good yet work. Caleb flips it up. Chip back from Umanga. Trying to buy himself time, but just knocks it off the pitch. It's time to regroup from Wellington. Nice from Umanga, all black teammates, but no love lost here today.
No, definitely not. Mertens has definitely changed the game plan, hasn't he? But they've got to try something, because obviously the long kicking game straight to the Wellington back three isn't working. But maybe if they go to set play, or they try something else. Now Mertens actually tried a couple of things, and it really hasn't paid off for him. In fact, they nearly got caught on a couple of occasions.
So Canterbury through Mertens. He's going to try and ignite his backs, given on by feet. Gibson. This is good midfield position. Options left and right. Still working it right. Todd Blackadder takes responsibility, takes it up. Now Canterbury piling left. Mertens and through to his inside runners. This is working well for Canterbury. Really picking up a good head of steam. Here's Daryl Gibson. Jerry Collins flies up. The cover is good. The Canterbury are stretching them well now. Chip through. Brad Fleming was up to the task. Offside, straight in front of the sticks.
A long advantage played by the referee there, Paul Honus. Wellington midfield offside from probably about the second or third ruck. But you really do sense the intensity of these Canterbury forwards now, really hitting rucks. In the first half, they just seem to be going through the motions, going through their plays. But now they're really hitting this, hitting the advantage line really hard. And you see these guys coming through now. Well, you would have done.
Canterbury really asking questions of the Wellington defence, seeing if they can live at this heat, this intensity, and just creating 4 or 5 phases. Looks as though they are a little bit brittle.
Yeah, again though, they haven't breached the Wellington line. You know this, but you know they may not need to, because you know, with the 2 kickers they have in Mertens and Blair, you know you can still win a game with a kicker.
This would put them just within 5 points. As much as Cullen may try to inspire his side, this puts Canterbury within striking distance. No mistake, you wouldn't expect it from Ben Blair. So young, but so composed.
Wellington now, they haven't won the championship for a good 14-15 seasons now, and you can't afford to have any self-doubt get into the Wellington boys. You've got to keep playing with confidence. If they play with confidence, they have the ability to win the game. If their heads go down and they stop running their lines and hitting their rucks and doing the passing, then it could be a good night for them.
The established internationals, the likes of Maxwell, really beginning to take charge now. A lovely take from the line out, from the kick-off rather, from him.
Canterbury gained about 10 metres, 15 metres off the kick-off, but it's a Wellington throw-in. Now Wellington have to win their line out, so it's a big throw for Norm Hewitt.
So Mertens trying to take a grip of this, and when his forwards are going to give him good ball and doing their job, it's going to be made a whole lot easier.
You can just sense the game just swinging Canterbury's way at the moment. With that kick, you know, the missed kick from the pressure that Wellington had in the first few minutes of the second half, although it was well struck and hit the post, it's unfortunate. And a couple of unforced errors from Wellington that have allowed Canterbury back into their half. They've got the 3 points, there's 5 points in it now, so the game is very, very finely balanced.
So it looks like Van der Merwe's going to have to come off. Mike Edwards on. Exciting player himself. Fresh legs. Wellington now try again. Here is Edwards straight away into the thick of action. A real dynamite tackle there, and Lomu takes the ball up.
Yates did extremely well to hold on to the ball. He actually fumbled it as the hit came in. He still managed to hold it. It looks like he's down there, could be hurt. And they've just made a forward substitution to the tight 5, so Wellington could be a bit of bother.
Canterbury just have that feeling of being so composed, don't they? Just that inner confidence with the experience allied to that.
Yeah, there was definite signs at the start of the second half when Mertens started running the ball out of his own line. That composure seemed to have gone out the window. But now they have the, you know, with scoring the first points in the second half, and as I said, only a 5-point difference, maybe that composure may come back to them again. That's a great tackle.
A huge hit there.
Possibly Ruben Thorne in on the tackle there, I'm not quite sure.
Well, this could mean problems for Wellington. Now you see one prop and now the other. Trying to work out the logistics of...
This is always a nightmare. You've got the coaches on the sideline saying that, look, you know, we've just replaced the sub. The Don't know whether they're carrying three. I think they're only carrying one prop on the side with a hooker, and the rest are sort of back row. But he's done something to his wrist or his shoulder, and he does look like he's going to stay on.
Looks in some pain. Looks like his wrist possibly. Yeah, there's no way that Kevin Yates.
That's a massive hit. It's actually Norm Maxwell.
Yeah. He went down like a sack of spuds. So on is Shane Carter for Yates. And this could see Wellington's fragile forward platform disappear.
Wait, fellas, wait up, guys.
Well, that's a ridiculous line. Hammett's had both feet over the sideline. The linesman's obviously spotted.
Just settle down, guys. Same conditions apply. Let's hold the gap
now
wide.
A chance for Canterbury to rattle Wellington as they try and reorganise
Here
themselves.
we are. Same conditions apply.
That's right, but it might actually spur Wellington on. You know, in adversity last week with two of their players in Sindon for a total of 20 minutes, they actually scored a lot of rugby, scored a lot of points. So you just don't know.
Lovely take from Maxwell at the line out.
Half-back is stationary now. Can we use it, please?
Wellington stopped the drive well. Mertens had to get rid of that one quickly. Venisi was breathing down his neck.
This game is so evenly balanced at the moment, Will. I wouldn't like to call it.
The basics have to be right. Such an overused phrase, but it is so important. Hewitt doing his job. Ball coming back. Spice. Forward. Set piece here is Fleming. And Hoffler tracked him all the way. Well, it's getting a little bit edgy up there. There's so much at stake. And Wellington giving away a penalty. We've talked about how fragile they are, worrying about how the red mist may descend, and to a certain extent it does come from captain.
That's right. I mean, Todd Blackadder, he's been there and done that in the last few seasons. I mean, but what happens as well is it's the calls and it's the composable showing now, Canterbury, and they've just got some stats through that they've actually thrown to Maxwell 7 times now in this half.
Well, he seems to be doing the job well, linking up with Hammett. Wasn't quite so straight. Referee's not going to let that one go.
I mean, this is a crucial period of the game. You know, they all are really, but 12 minutes in, game finally balanced. I reckon in the next 10-15 minutes, you know, the team that takes the ascendancy could well win this match.
So first scrum with 2 hookers for Wellington.
No locks, just crouch and hold.
See how they do.
Just wait. Engage. Grips up.
Pretty good.
See, this is the danger you see, Will, with not carrying a complete front row replacements on your bench, even though you have 7 subs. You probably carry an extra back or an extra loose forward and only have 2 back row covers, which you only have to do. But the thing is, what happens now, if you get 2 injuries to props, you're in trouble.
Now Wellington trying to use the possession that they get.
Of course, if Wellington get another front row injury, then it will go to uncontested scrums, and the game won't be forfeited. But there needs to be another injury to the front row. Otherwise, there's an awful lot of pressure on Carter, who's just come on.
That is such an inspiration. 120% performer. Mopping up the ball there. There's Dean Waller coming through. Canterbury players didn't like it.
Well, I'm not too sure there's anything wrong with that. He seems to be coming from his own side, coming through, pushing the guy out of the way. Ooh, I'd like to see that one again.
You're going to. Have a look at this then. Is he driving through from the back feet?
Well, he's definitely come over the top of the ruck, hasn't he?
Possibly harsh on Dion Waller. As the referee said, that pitch ball now. Canterbury just inside their own half. And it's to Maxwell, as has been the case for the 8th time. From the short side now, just tries to unload it to Rooney Backer, but really no space, and he's been very quiet. Canterbury's cutting edge.
Again, so much height between the contact between Vunibacker and Lomu, and it really hasn't eventuated yet. I think Lomu's got to try though, and he made the clean break, so it's probably just two up on him at the moment.
Nice
but
and square on the loose head, Red, please.
all the action seems to be somewhere else at the moment, doesn't it?
Wait for my call.
Well, the Canterbury front row, Pete Hammett and Somerville, really should be licking their lips now.
Sorry, guys, Number 22.
Yeah, obviously added advantage, you know, two specialist props on the Canterbury side and two specialist hookers in the Wellington front row.
Well, Hammett has been on record, the Hammer is his nickname, saying he's really looking forward to getting into Hewitt.
Let's just settle the chatter down at scrum time. All we're wanting is good scrums at scrum time. Let's chatter, let's get on with it. Let's go. All right?
Now the thing is, it's a real test of Paul Harris's knowledge of the front row now. Obviously he'd be very keen to make the scrum going in square so that the boys can have a strike on the ball. But at the same time, he will know that Wellington had two.
Easy! Back off!
This is so close to igniting.
Back off!
The Canterbury boys will obviously know that Wellington have got two hookers in there, and so Honus will now have to really look closely to see exactly what's going on.
Here we are. Come on, guys.
Hammett doesn't look happy. I'm sure Wellington front row trying all the tricks in the book just to get a clean strike and ball away for Jerry Collins.
Stay bounds. Use it wide.
Spice. Moore pops that out of the air.
That's good. Hands off.
And the ball is needed to be clean. Spice again. Still going at Wellington. Somerville does the defensive work there.
Solialis had a great game. His work rate has been immense.
Such a complete footballer as well. Oh, a huge double tackle from Maxwell and Robertson. Now Lomu. Again, Robertson really getting into the thick of things, upping his work rate.
Yeah, Norm Waxwell is really waiting for those runners coming through. He's already got rid of one of them, and he's nearly got rid of Afiaki then.
Now the mistake from Wellington, desperately trying to get back is Umaga. But they've lost 20 metres or so, and the possession.
That's a real sign of pressure there. They've thrown a pass to no man's land. I think it's probably the first mistake that Hull was made today.
Well, as you possibly predicted, Canterbury just beginning to exert some sort of control on this match, and the established internationals beginning to show their class.
I think if Canterbury go on to win this match, then I can honestly say the two Norm Maxwell tackles in the last 5 minutes have turned the game for them.
Well, he's an abrasive customer. And it can be such a fill-up for the team as well, can't it? Seeing those big hits go in.
And such a negative effect for the opposition as well.
Two captains being talked to.
Getting a little bit testy. We've had too much verbal stuff from players at one another. Let's just cut the chatter down to the three of us. Okay? Us three. All right, let's get on with it. Thank you.
Less mouth, more muscle. Is effectively what he's saying, but by the looks of these scrums, it's not going to end.
Yep, and wait for the call, please, Red. No ball, just wait for the call.
So Van der Merwe's come back on for Carter. It's done good for Canterbury. Gibson has a bit of space there. Fleming closed him down fairly smartly. Ball's out, says the referee. And now it's Wellington's turn to try and spoil. Surialo, so impressive in the tight and the loose. The ball is coming back. O'Halloran playing scrum half. Cullen looking for space, and Cullen seeing that it was Maxwell. Cullen is racing away, looking for some support, and it's Umaga to O'Halloran. O'Halloran's going to go underneath the sticks. What a score from Wellington. One end of the pitch to the other. That is pure genius.
That is absolutely fantastic. That's the story of the game, isn't it? All the Canterbury possession, and all of a sudden, you give them the ball to Christian Cullen. There's not a gap there. He's seen a second row. He's lined himself up against the Canterbury second row, running the space. That man, Umaga, is on his shoulder yet again. Here he goes.
Bang, just saw the space. It's pure class from him, isn't it?
That's a great pass to Tana, and Tana is taking the tackle. He's rode the tackle, and great backup play by Jason O'Halloran in the second 5/8.
Well, undoubted the most dangerous counter-attacking fullback in the world, and when you've got the likes of Ungomering inside you and O'Halloran to finish it off, it's going to be try time. No mistake there from Holwell, and again the seesaw continues to turn from Canterbury to Wellington now.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I must admit, I had quite a few doubts a few moments ago, but when I saw Christian run through there, I thought, oh, here we go again. This is fantastic. Christian has had a superb game. As I said before, it's the stars in the Wellington side that have performed today. Umaga, Cullen, they've been absolutely outstanding.
Gibson, the captain. Cooney back up. Well, he's had a shocking game so far. Has to be said, hasn't it?
Yeah, he hasn't had the ball. When he has, then he had a bit of space. He's taken the ball flat. And he hasn't looked interested at all. And here comes Alama.
Jeremiah, how much it means to him to get on for his final appearance for Wellington. What a time to come on as well.
Just hope his hamstrings hold up.
Well, don't want any more injuries. Mike Edwards needs to stay on. Time for Wellington to compose themselves. Time for a breather for Paul Holness. Once a contentious free last 20 minutes or so.
It'd be interesting to see what they're doing in the midfield at the moment. Obviously Lama will be in there somewhere. I'm not quite sure who's going off.
Well, look at that. The class of the man is there for all to see. It really is a loss to New Zealand rugby, but quite a game for Suntory. Here is John Maloney. Suntory, the Japanese club that he's going to play for at the end of the season.
It looks like that Eremiah's come on in the midfield, and they've put Tana on the left wing. So he's replaced Fleming, who I must admit hasn't had a great game today. Got turned over in the tackle quite a few times. But now what a back three Wellington have with another All Black in the midfield.
And Blair in the wars. Limping somewhat. He's not going to want to come off. Had a wonderful season has the young man.
Well, Holwell's he's an experienced player now, and he's seen that Ben Blair is injured. He looks like a bit of a crack in the eye, and he's limping. I wouldn't be at all surprised if they hoist one to him now and get the big guys down on him.
There is Lear the Lion. Invaded Eden Park security in the semi-finals, and he's in at the final, trying to G the crowd up. Quite a character. And the 15 men on the pitch are certainly doing it at the moment. 27-15 they lead at the moment.
We can't put the ball in if your scrum's moving away, okay? Let's hit and hold. Let's hit and hold, right?
Well, the referee isn't penalising Wellington at the moment, and you know, which is a good thing, because the game could just dissolve for Wellington if they get penalised in the park with the scrum infringements.
Marshall, Sam Brummel. Now what can Mertens conjure? There's Mertens. Ball comes back. Blackout. Working the fringes. Flat ball. It could be a 2-on-1 here, but Robertson brought down again. Wellington seem to be gaining in strength as this second half progresses. The confidence and the belief is coming, but that was almost suicidal. O'Halloran's trying to make Canterbury pay, and here is John Lamu. Huge handoff, still going for the line. Funibaka's having another go. Lamu for the line, he's there! The strength and class of the man could have put Wellington out of sight.
Jonah 3, Funibaka 0. Absolutely fantastic try. Jason O'Harry's picked up a loose pass from Mertens in midfield. Great hands from Dion Waller. Moved the ball wide to Jonah, and what can you say? Out of the top draw, that try.
Well, it was off a Canterbury mistake. O'Halloran was so quickly into it, and then it was just a matter of releasing Mr. Jonah Lomu.
I mean, everyone says that Jonah, he's good against the little guys, but they don't come bigger than Vunni Barker. 2 great handoffs, and he's done it from gas on the outside. What a great try. Fantastic. Look, Dion Warrer, second row, great hands. He saw Jonah in space.
Went high, didn't he? Well, then tries a bit lower, no good.
The thing with Vunni Barker is that, you know, he doesn't play against Jonah week in, week out. He doesn't have to come across guys that are that size. And he generally takes guys out like that week in, week out. And so you probably have to have the coaching man out for the next time he comes up against Jonah.
Well, you can see how much Lomu wanted it as he went over the line. But just the strength and power of this individual is so intimidating. There's no chance from there.
The way that he finished the try was almost reminiscent of the try against England in the semi-final, where you didn't think he was going to get there, and he just found something extra to get over the line. That is one hell of a try. That's fantastic.
Jeremiah just joined the fray, but...
And that's the nail in the coffin for Canterbury, I think.
You think they're home?
I'd like to think so. I'm not biased, am I?
34-15, Wellington lead. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. What can Canterbury do? They have the class, they have the half-backs, but at the moment they're not putting in the performance.
Well, it was a very loose pass from Andrew Mertens there that Jason O'Halloran picked up on. And, you know, talk about unsung hero, Jason O'Halloran's had a terrific game tonight and been a great leader for this Wellington side over many seasons.
Went forward, just slightly. Now, just for Wellington to concentrate for the last 15 minutes. Canterbury are going to try and shake that confidence from them, but...
It's your scrum, Riz, your scrum. Just wait for the call, please.
Just over 15 minutes to go, a little bit of injury time. Canterbury have got to get points on the board in the next 3 or 4 minutes. But they're not going to do it like that.
And Blair trying to dance his way through the traffic, but Wellington have turned the ball over, and they've been dangerous before this game, could be dangerous again. Umunga to Iramir. Oh, they want it, the ball is clean. Back row have been so impressive all day, and their backs have been finishing well. Lomu.
I think they're so keen to get at Jonah now. They give it to him anyway now. That wasn't the best for Jonah there.
Well, Will looked up. Not the best of kicks. Mertens has no choice but to hammer it high. Fleming misses it. Maybe a slight knock on. It was.
Well, my mistake, Fleming is still on the field, so is it Cullen has gone off?
Well, whoever remains on this field, they're so dangerous. O'Halloran, the man that is taking a breather. And Fleming has come back on.
Well, I thought I was going. I thought I was using my marbles then, but it seems that Fleming originally did go off for Jeremiah, and now O'Halloran's taking a breather, and Fleming's back on the field.
Wait for the call. Engage.
Well, the confidence is oozing from Wellington from 1 to 15, but just giving Canterbury a sniff of a chance here. Now, so many points behind, you have to go kick for touch, catch and drive.
I'd say they have to. They're looking for 7 points now. 7 points will take them over the 20-point mark, and then you've got a 12-point margin, and then there's 2 converted tries to win the game.
That is the offence. John, would you like to explain that? No. But most pertinently, a good position now for Canterbury. They have to capitalise on these territorial chances. Hammett to Maxwell. Now the drive. But the ball is on the deck. Marshall, Mertens. Still going is Gibson, that's wonderful work. Jerry Collins brings him down, but this is a good position. Just 5 metres short. Well, Dion Waller came in very quickly
Now, is that a penalty or a penalty try? What's he given? It's a penalty, deliberate knockdown. But he's not taken from the place that Dean Waller knocked it down, he's actually taking it from the offside closer to the post.
Well, Canterbury will be furious. Wellington will be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I think had the pass gone to hand, it would have been a try. And Wellington probably a little bit lucky that it's not a sin-bin offence and not a penalty try as well. I've seen those happen before.
And the referee says that Dion Waller's on a caution, so he's going to have to be a little bit more careful. Set move now from Canterbury. Setting up the drive. Wellington desperate to keep the Canterbury side away. Now the secondary drive. Black out of the fulcrum point. It's 2 metres short. Could be a chance now. It is, and it's Mertens that's over. Doesn't dot the ball bound. Just gets a little bit closer to under the posts. Canterbury aren't quite finished yet.
No, as I said, they needed to try, and they've got one. It's close to the post, so they kick the points. Now, it's only 12 points adrift now, so it's still achievable for Canterbury.
Yeah, pure class from the number 9 and 10 working so well together. Canterbury aren't going to give up.
Well, Canterbury probably realise now, Will, that they've got to take it close in. That's where their strength is. With the depleted front row for Wellington, but they've still got monsters out in the back line, so they can't afford to throw it wide. Willie Backer hasn't been in the game, had a couple of opportunities on attack, hasn't really taken them, and obviously defensively has been run all over by Jonah.
Well, time and time again, Mertens has shown his international class, and with Marshall you cannot count Canterbury out. Oh well, hard. Not quite as long as he may have liked. Comes back for Ruben Thorne. Marshall looking to counter-attack.
Go away, 1-5! Hands off!
Booney Backer. Oh, lovely share of the ball. Still going is Booney Backer. Coming back into this game. Lovely run from him. Canterbury beginning to fire. This is a wonderful chance. Mertens times his run perfectly. Still going as Mertens. Mertens is on his own. Wants support. Can't quite release Robertson. And now Wellington chance into touch.
Wellington off the hook. But that's when Mertens went through there. It was reminiscent of Wayne Smith, the All Black coach, going through against Wellington in 1982 to win the Fran Fairley Shield. He just makes me look stupid, but he doesn't make me sound stupid. You've got Benny Bucker, he's done nothing all day and set up a break. But when it came out to Andrew Mertens, the guy is so fast, and the gap has just opened up for him. And I was expecting him to go straight for the corner. But to be fair, the support has come in. Fleming's come in, but the pass has gone to the ground and Robertson's knocked it on. That's a big let-off. It's a massive let-off for Wellington.
Does show how Canterbury are still so dangerous, though. The crowd now chanting their respective teams home. 22-34 the score.
And it's going to be a great 10 minutes.
Referee asking the players to hurry up.
Watch again, White!
Chris Jack is on for Canterbury. And immediately takes a good line-up ball. Now the drive over the 22. Brought to the deck.
Driving through the middle!
Driving through the middle, says the referee. A penalty Canterbury's way.
Back 10.
I don't understand.
Not 10 advantage!
Still taking the ball quickly.
Back off! Still playing.
Canterbury still going. Now just 5 metres short. Tom Blackadder goes. Down to 2 metres. The ball needs to come back smartly.
Hands away! Come back, White!
Canterbury really trying to hurt Wellington now. Switching play. Ben Blair trying to dance his way up towards the Wellington line. Now the forwards. Mertens for number 2, unloads, and that is another try in the space of about 5 minutes. Blackadder, the scorer, he may have taken a knot, but the crowd go potty.
Canterbury now playing to their strengths, round the forwards, and with the half-backs all of a sudden looking like All Blacks again.
Well, it's game on. Wellington can't believe it. But again, it was the class of Mertens that just opened the gap. Lovely run from his second row colleague. Try.
That's a great offload in the tackle. Merton's actually probably nearly got there himself, but great vision from the man. I mean, this is world-class play from Andrew Mertens. And for Todd Blacko, the big second row, to get on his shoulder to barge over the line. Great score, and they needed it. Yeah, it's definitely game on, isn't it, Will?
Well, every kick is so vital. Ben Blair will know it. He'll be happy. It's not from further out. No mistake from him. This is poised to be the most phenomenal last few minutes.
34 points to 29. 5 points separate the two sides. Well, we need a bit of magic now from the Wellington back three.
Well, time and time again, Canterbury, we're not playing well for full 80 minutes, have shown that they can produce the goods, and they are within striking distance of stealing the title now.
Wellington, they had an almost unassailable lead only a few minutes ago, 34 points to 15, and Canterbury clawed their way back into the game, and you've got to pay homage to them. Absolutely fantastic comeback. Now Wellington, they probably had the game won, probably thought they had the game won 10 minutes ago, but the game is right up for grabs again, and they've got to show some composure.
Still changes being made in the Wellington ranks. Now that's a man that you don't want to come off the field. Umunga looks as though he's got a problem with his eye at the moment.
He went down pretty heavily when we went through for a high ball, and it looked like one of the Canterbury boys may have just inadvertently caught him in the eye.
Any mistakes could be so costly. So much at stake now. Discipline is vital. Mertens is that an almighty who? But all he's found is the almighty Jonolomu, who hoists that one high, doesn't want to take on the opposition. Marshall clattered to the floor. Mertens takes responsibility. Very quick into that. Holworth looks up. Kicked into space. Now is Blair, little chip over the top.
Well, back by Fleming then.
Well, both sides seem content to kick. Maybe worried about counter-attacking and turning over the ball.
Well, obviously Wellington just looking to clear their lines, but at the same time, I think Mertens, Ed Howe are looking to get down their field position so they can counter a set play.
Desperate defence now. Billy Backer playing scrum half. Blair. Now Blair again. Ruben Thorne in front of him, but no obstruction. Marshall back. In the scrum half slot. Canterbury stringing some phases of possession now. Up from Funi Backer, the magician that has been quiet so far today, Kunja. He may yet play a part in this match.
Wellington are looking a little bit tired in defence now. They need a big hit somewhere. Just get the ascendancy back again.
Oh, there you go. Jonolomu lined him up. Slapped him to the floor. Real thunderclap of a tackle.
But Canterbury have managed to hold on to the ball, and they're looking very strong. That was a great hit from Jonah. That might just do just enough to lift his troops.
Funibaka has been so well marshalled all day today. He had no chance to do anything there, just shuffled into touch. And now, if Hewitt can hit his line-out jumper, again, Wellington ball.
Oof, great hit. I mean, that's what we're... The thing is, though, these Wellington boys now, especially the forwards, they're looking tired. And some of the backs, you know, they've tackled enormously today. And, you know, for this game to be snatched from their grasp, it'd be, you know, a great injustice. But at the same time, Can't have been absolutely superb in this last 10-15 minutes.
Well, they had 60% of the ball, have Canterbury. And so some might argue that they deserve to squeak this victory, but Wellington have made all the running throughout this match. chip over the top. Good work. Oh, just knocked on. Advantage Canterbury. Bunibaka. Ball in both hands, but just runs out into touch.
Well, the last 2 times Bunibaka's touched the ball now, he's run straight in the touch, and he's not making it easy on the Canterbury faithful, is he?
This so nearly worked. Clever little chip through. No, just couldn't quite get his hands on it.
He got the luck of the bounce. The bounce went his way. He made Mertens look silly. It wasn't Mertens' fault.
Scratch and hold.
So again, Canterbury breathe. Back for the knock-on. So he'll be there put into the scrum.
Scratch and hold. Engage.
Just over 3 minutes to go plus injury time.
We slipped. They both slipped.
5 points in it. 1 converted try. What can Mertens, Manhoffler, Caleb Ralph
Concentration up, please.
manage in this last dying minutes?
There is nothing worse for a team when you've had a final in the bag to be snatched away to the death.
Mertens, Darryl Gibson.
Thanks, buddy.
Good ball for Marshall. Yeah, short, looking for work from fullbacks. Chips through, Mertens mixing it up well and saying, right, Wellington, you play for your own 22.
Come on, Norm Hewitt, you need a big throw now. Inside your own 22, time running out on the clock, 5 points ahead in a major championship final.
How will he respond to pressure? Mertens knows he is fallible, throwing in. It's been pretty good today. I'm sure the likes of Blackadder, 1 eye and all, maybe trying to make it as difficult as possible for the Wellington number 2.
It's been a great encounter, Will. You've got to give some credit to the referee as well, because he's managed to keep the lid on this sort of cauldron.
Hewitt does his job. Organising themselves. Dion Waller, the main source of that possession from the line-up. Good take from Bunibaka, now looking for space. Just loses his footing. And we have the ball. Marshall waits impatiently. Mertens taking the ball flat now. Lovely pick up there from Blair.
Here it is, hands off. Here it comes. Roll away, 2.
Marshall, Gibson.
Roll off, 20.
Wellington still desperate. Little tip through from Mertens. The ball is bouncing. Umunga's desperately back. Caleb Ralph chasing after it, and sharp intakes of breath throughout Jade Stadium.
I think Wellington just off the hook there. What's happened there is it's come off Tana as the ball's come. The kick's gone through very reminiscent of the try in the first half. I think Tana might possibly touch the ball there. Had the ball gone out with a Canterbury throw, okay, it could have been very, very difficult for Wellington to hold out. But it is Wellington's throw. Norm Hewitt has thrown well in these pressure line-outs in the last few, but he's got to put this one on. And Benny Barker's coming off.
Well, all change, all to play for. Crowd creating such a heated atmosphere now. And Hewitt again under pressure and performing so well with Dion Waller. 2-3 metres the forwards have found themselves.
Well, Hewitt's done extremely well there. He's taken the drive as well as pinpointing the line out.
Blair takes Spice's box kick. Wellington racing up to put pressure on this Canterbury back 3. Caleb Ralph found no room at all.
Canterbury are constantly getting the ball back, recycling ball the whole time, and they're looking a good side at the moment.
And it's all possession, all territory for Canterbury at the moment. Ruben Thorne. The clock ticks on. Less than 20 seconds of normal time to play. Ben Blair's turn to try and find a gap in the Wellington defence. Gibson cuts inside.
Here it comes.
Ball back for Marshall. Got Robertson driving in. There's a hand in there, the referee's seen it. But still, Canterbury 5 points behind.
Time on the clock, and they've got to kick for the corner. Either kick for the corner or take the quick tap. What I suggest is with the Canterbury line out and the ascendancy in the set play is a kick for the corner.
Exactly what Canterbury have gone for.
And it's a great kick to the corner. Come on, Wellington.
This is a huge chance for Canterbury.
This has been an absolutely fantastic final. And I actually think the referee, Paul Holness, he's talked to the players all the way through the game, and he's played a big part in this.
So important for the referee to create an atmosphere within the players that enables such cracking matches, and he's managed to do that today. Canterbury have the ball. Chris Jack unloads. Now the drive. Wellington desperately trying to stop this. Marshall, head up. Looks just 2 metres away from that line. Referee says it's going to be another penalty.
Now, scrum or line out? I don't know. Good position for a scrum. Wellington, 2 hookers in the scrum, could be looking for the pushover. They're going to run it.
Now, set piece move. They're straight to the forwards and set it up for that drive towards the line. Marshall starts. They split their forwards. Referee wants this to be taken properly. Wellington just on the edge of their seats now. Marshall. Now the secondary drive from Canterbury. Meyerhofer involved, everybody involved trying to create some force in that drive. Another penalty. They're going to have to be careful here. Could be a sin bin or, more pertinently, a penalty try.
Well, Wellington are going to be very... I mean, this is the second or third penalty. Could be a sin bin here.
Well, 2 minutes into injury time.
Just a caution. All right, I put my hand in the pocket to see what he said. No
sin bin may not be too relevant, but there is the warning.
What a finish. I can't watch.
Wait till he touches the ball.
Marshall waits. Everybody so expectant. Wellington so quickly up at the Canterbury forwards. Ball comes back. Gibson rucking his way for Marshall. Marshall slightly hesitant. The ball comes back again. What can Canterbury conjure? And it was Dion Waller again, another penalty, and that's the second time he's done that.
But he's got to be sin binned. He's got to be sin binned. He's been cautioned before. He's already had the caution.
Paul Holness has got to take responsibility now. He's got to do something.
We've already been cautioned. We've already been cautioned for kicking the ball away. Deliberate knock on.
Sin bin. Wellington down to 14 men. Dion Waller goes to the sin bin. He'll take no more part in this match. Canterbury relentless in their pursuit of the try. Again, the same ploy, the same result. The ball comes back. Marshall, Mertens switching the point of attack. Steinmetz up so quickly. The ball again, referee screaming to the Wellington players, get your hands off. Marshall has his hands on. Meyerhofer, last game in New Zealand. He'll want to go out with a bang. Time for big hearts and cool heads now in the Canterbury ranks.
Great tackle from Canterbury, fantastic tackle.
His body's on the line, all the way through for both sets of players. The ball is slow, Marshall sees it. Again the drive. Need to try and create some sort of pace on the ball.
They've turned him, they've turned him.
Referee's having a very close look. That's a Wellington scrum, and they've won! Fantastic! Well, celebrations from Wellington. They go absolutely mad. And they thoroughly deserve it. That's the full-time whistle. Wellington 34. And it's Canterbury 29.